This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Scott Howell.
Hello, good neighbors, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, brought to you by the Friends and Neighbors Group of the Greater Chattanooga region. My name is Scott Howell, of course, and I'm your host. And a lot of people ask me, what's the purpose of this Good Neighbor Podcast anyway? Well, we want to bring awareness to the residents living in our communities regarding the locally owned and operated businesses in Chattanooga, Cleveland, Dalton, Jasper, Benton, everywhere in between. We all the local businesses are really important in all of our communities, and all of our communities are important. And small local businesses are the backbone of our communities, and they need our support. And every local business has a story to tell, and we just want to help them shout it from the rooftops. So join me today, our good neighbors Sam and Austin Jenkins at Iron HQ. We sure are glad to have y'all on the podcast with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Before we dive into talking about the business, Iron HQ, I always like to just stop a moment and say, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family. And the good news is we got a husband and wife duo going here today, so they should know everything, right? So tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Oh, that's a hard test if you're going to ask me questions about her. I think she's going to do better than I would. So Austin Jenkins, we live in Chattanooga. Sam and I have actually just hit our 3-year mark of marriage.
Hey, congratulations.
A couple days ago. Thank you. So we kind of split up on the gym a little bit. I actually still work full time.
Okay.
I'm a remote employee, and then she works the gym full time. My background, I've got a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and I don't know what else. I'm a pretty plain Jane person. I'm just a gym bro, so she's way more interesting than I am.
Well, tell us about yourself, Sam.
Well, I've got a bachelor's degree in exercise science from UTC, so go Mocs. And then I'm also a IFBB figure pro, so I compete in bodybuilding.
Oh, okay. Okay, nice. All right. How did y'all meet?
I had done some ego lifting back in the day and given myself a pretty good injury that – oh, sorry, my cat's trying to join the call with us.
Well, yeah, let him in.
So I was in PT for that after surgery, and she was working the PT clinic at the time, and we kind of met and connected, and one thing led to another, and we met in Chattanooga, got engaged here, and got married here.
All right.
It's got a lot of memories here for us.
That's great. The memories are important. The Sam, you talking about you compete in bodybuilding. How long have you been doing that?
June will make 5 years. So I started in 2019 and did my first show in 2020.
What have you went to? Is the correct terminology professional or pro, or however you say that? Have you hit that status yet?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I got my pro card in Chattanooga in 2022, and then did my first pro show last year in August.
Are you competing in the show this weekend or this month, whenever it is?
No, I can't compete in those anymore.
Oh, okay. I don't know all about the ins and outs about all that stuff, but yeah. Well, I tell you what, let's just dive in and tell me all about Iron HQ.
So it's a 24/7 gym. We started it in, the doors open in February 2022. We started over after actually some of her shows while drinking some mimosas, and we were, kind of discussing something because I think this was 2021, and the housing market was, of course, had been booming, and we were one of the fortunate ones that bought in 2019 and saw a pretty good increase in the home value. Yeah. So we decided to wait because it was probably not a great idea to make decisions after drinking a few mimosas. So, but
made you brave, didn't
it? Yeah. But a month or two later, we said, you know what, we're young, let's try it. So we sold our house in Murfreesboro, where we were living at the time, and then moved down here because we felt that Chattanooga deserved a place like what we envisioned. And this is a gym that's kind of caters to everybody, no matter what type of training they do. We would call it a aesthetics and strength gym or a hybrid gym, and really focusing on the gym experience that I think, or we felt that a lot of businesses and gyms, or a lot of gyms have moved away from and started focusing too much on the bottom line.
Too much on what?
On the bottom line.
The bottom line. Okay. Yeah. But Sam Bennett, you're a bodybuilder. Kind of go into detail about that. What is it that gyms have got away from?
Well, I think it really just depends on the area that you're in. So in Murfreesboro, we had quite a few that catered to bodybuilders. Whereas here, it's just like your commercial gyms. So the closest would be a Gold's.
Okay.
But for us, obviously, like selection of equipment is important. And then also a posing room. So basically seeing how like each muscle looks in our different angles. Not a lot of gyms have that. So we definitely wanted to have that to kind of set us apart and to pull more people in from that. So
what I hear is that it is a gym that caters more to people who want to either compete or just want to be at that level of fitness. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of hand selected pieces in there for that. And as well as we really try to focus on a community feel and a very welcoming atmosphere as well. So we have people that range from no experience all the way up to people like at her level.
So when somebody walks in and they have no experience at all, is there any type of guidance or any type of help to help them, move toward in the right direction?
We'll help a little bit. Obviously, if they have questions on how to use equipment, the community itself and the members in there are very helpful. And people will go up and ask members all the time. And then we also have references for trainers that actually train out of the gym.
Ah, okay. That's what I was looking for. So you do have people that come in there and do training.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Do you have someone for the men and the women, or how does that work?
I'd say it's personal preference based on what you want. Like, typically women prefer a woman trainer, but we've got both. They train and they have their own businesses.
They're kind of self-employed, but they train in your gym. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Set their own schedule, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, tell us a little bit about what you already did. I guess you already told us about your journey. I guess one of the things I like to hear people talk about is when people come to a place like this. I hear this a lot. I'm on my fitness journey. When I was young, I was very fit. I was in really good shape. I became an adult, started traveling for work, and I'm a little older than y'all are. I can tell by looking at you. And back then, hotels didn't really have a place to go work out. Mm-hmm. Gyms weren't in abundance. So I found, and we didn't know about the dangers of eating fast food. So here I am. I'm always on the go, not getting any exercise, eating stuff that was bad for me. And then next thing you know, I've gained 60 pounds, and so I started trying to work towards that, and slowly I've lost 40. I don't have it all off, but slowly I've been on my journey. But as I've noticed as I got older, I'm losing muscle tone. I'm losing things that I want to have. I'm not as strong in some areas as I once was, and I noticed that about myself. So when people come into the gym and they find themselves in that predicament, maybe they don't. And I guess especially ladies, maybe they feel an intimidation. Men too. Let's just tell it like it is. Men too feel an intimidation. Walk into a gym and everybody's looks like they envision everybody's being fitter than they are. Everybody be able to do things they can't do. What do you do to kind of help people dispel the myths and misconceptions?
That one's actually pretty tough, because if we see them and they come in and we're talking with them, we try to be very open and unassuming. I'm pretty straightforward, try to make them feel at home. And if I can tell that maybe and a lot of times people tell me this is the first time I ever walked in a gym, I try to point out some of the regulars too. It's like, hey, or introduce them and get them accustomed to the community and introduce them to other people. We try to be very open and say, hey, you're in here, you're doing great. And honestly, no one's going to judge you. And we've got a great community here that will support you.
And we have a strict no harassment policy.
Yeah.
Now, what do you mean by that, Sam?
So my ladies will know this, that at commercial gyms, men like to stare or approach you or talk to you when you like don't want any of that. So if a woman ever feels uncomfortable or in that situation, she can come tell Austin or I about it, and then we'll handle it, and it's immediately resolved because we want everybody to feel comfortable when they walk into our gym.
Okay. So, and you see a lot of this stuff on YouTube and TikTok where maybe people are feeling like uncomfortable. Do you ever find situations where maybe men don't really mean it the way that it was taken? Do you ever find that those type of situations?
We honestly haven't really had any problems.
Good. Okay.
So that's been nice, but we try to approach it as unbiased as we can and just understand if there is a situation like that, we try to hear both sides of the story and try to work it out from there.
Well, I, of course, I'm not a lady, Sam, but as a guy that comes in and is not as fit as he wants to be, I don't want people staring at me either, right?
Yeah.
if I was a bodybuilder, I might not care. I might be kind of glad they looked at me. But right now, I know they're not looking at much, right? So, I totally get it. But when people, a lot of times when people come into a gym like that, they're just concerned: am I going to be able to fit in? Am I going to be able to get any help or any guidance? And am I going to hurt myself? Am I going to do anything that's going to hurt myself? So it's always good to know they're coming into a very warm, welcoming environment where people are willing to take time and help them. And I'm on the opposite end of some spectrum as some guys are. I appreciate it if somebody stops me and says, "Hey man, can I give you a tip? Because you keep doing that, you're going to hurt yourself." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you sure can." Tip away, because I don't want to get hurt. That's for sure. I've hurt myself in past years, and I don't want to do it no more.
Yeah.
So I'm getting older. I don't recover as quickly as I used to. That's for sure. But so tell me about y'all as a couple. You've been together 3 years. You're in Chattanooga. What do y'all like to do for fun when you're not in there helping people?
There's time to do other things.
That's funny.
It honestly has just been, we're still in the growing phase, and there's just a lot of sitting on the recliners and just decompressing. As long as we're together, though, that's what we enjoy. So even Absolutely. If we're just stuck here watching Netflix, or if we're up visiting parents, as long as we're together, that's really what we try for.
Austin, you said you had got injured. So have you gotten to the point where you're able to work out more now from the injuries?
Yes. Yeah. I think it was, that had been about 7-8 years ago.
Almost 7. Yeah.
Yeah. I've taken a lot of time to kind of work on it. And now my other side's a little more banged up than the original injured side. So just trying to take better care of myself. And she really helps me with that. Actually, she gets on my case if I'm being dumb.
I was just about to say, I imagine that Sam can help you with a lot of that. Cause one of the things about what I've read about bodybuilders and I've followed y'all, not your personal career, but the career of bodybuilder. I followed them for years. I think it's a fascinating sport. I've never desired to go that route, but I think it's fascinating that the way people can build their bodies like that. And what I've read is that it's really important to learn how to do it correctly, how to do have the right form when you work out, so as not to hurt yourself. But also, if you are trying to recover from an injury, it's even more important to know how to do the right form. Is that correct?
Yes. I just strained my hamstring twice in the last 3 months. And the first time it wasn't severe, but I definitely had to take like a couple of weeks off and kind of ease my way back into it. So just making sure form is good. I'm not pushing weight too heavy. And just sleep and food and stuff helps with recovery.
Thanks for bringing that up. So when somebody comes into the gym and they're a beginner, do you recommend they start trying to lift heavy or start light, or what kind of recommendations do you usually give, Sam?
first, I want to make sure that they can do anything body weight with good form.
Okay.
So especially if they want to do like bench or squat or something like that. A lot of times machines are good because you're in a fixed position, so you can't really injure yourself.
Right.
And you can always like increase the weight between like 2.5 and 10 pounds, which is good. So I always say err on the side of caution and start out lighter just to get a feel for it. Because if you're doing more high reps, you're going to get that burn later on. You may not feel it in the first 5 to 6, but once you hit 12 to 15, you're going to be like, oh yeah, okay, this is like really heavy. I should not go any heavier. So you're just saving yourself the headache down the road. So make sure body weight stuff's good, lightweight on machines, and then just progress from there.
Yeah. So you tend to more think people might, when they're beginning to start on the machines and get used to the weight before they kind of graduate themselves to the weight room.
Yeah.
When you pick up, I know I've experienced this myself. When I pick up weights, I like the feel of iron. I like the feel of actually having the weight in my hand. But that's the easiest way to have bad form. I guess both of y'all probably agree with that.
Yes.
If you don't have the right form, you can hurt yourself, especially when you see somebody else picking up that heavy weight, and you think, hey, I can do that too. And you reach down and grab it, and you go, whoa, I don't think I can either. But can y'all? I know you've only been together 3 years, but maybe just in your life, your career, is there anything that y'all have been through that just really was a hardship or a life challenge that you can look back now and say, wow, I'm a better person for that. I'm a stronger person for it. Maybe you could answer that separately. Austin, what about yourself?
Oh man. That's a big question.
I can go first then. So bodybuilding prep is not for the weak. And a lot of people always say that bodybuilders are impressive for what we do. But honestly, it's the people that are like in our support system that are the heroes, because I can get a little crazy when I'm deep into prep. I once cried about a plastic spoon I thought he threw away. And he was like, no, it's in the dishwasher, I promise. And I was like, it's not. So for him to be able to like love me throughout like the different phases that I go through is huge for me. Like so huge, because I wouldn't be able to do it without him. Like there would be no way.
And a lot of people that don't really know anything about bodybuilding, never have read about it like I have, haven't experienced it, but just read about it, don't understand what you mean when you say prep. But you go through some pretty rigorous dietary restrictions, don't you?
Yeah, my calories got as low as I think 1,000 one prep, and I was doing almost 2 hours of cardio a day, plus my training, plus my everyday life activities, work in the gym. Like it's a lot if you're not ready for it.
Wow. So I guess Austin, those are your life challenges, the same as hers, right?
Yeah, I definitely have learned more patience. Just a good, sometimes I have to use a good breathing method. Like, it's okay. We just call it prep brain is what we make jokes about. It's just prep Sam. It's okay. We even are probably, because she's in prep now, probably when she's 4 or 6 weeks out, we're going to send out an email to the gym members and just say, reminder, Sam is on prep. Be warned, caution, dangerous animal kind of deal.
Put signs up all over the gym, right?
Yep.
Danger, woman in prep. Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I've really enjoyed talking to y'all. Well, if there was one thing that you wish that all our listeners would know about the heart of Sam and Austin Jenkins and Iron HQ, but they probably wouldn't know if you didn't tell them, and you'd like to shout it from the rooftops today, what would that be?
I genuinely want our gym, or in general, people just to get more involved and active and fit and find a place where they feel like they can fit in. Like
that's well put.
We genuinely care. So honestly, it's probably sometimes too much. But yeah, I really want to see a change for the better for the greater community.
That's well put. Sam, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think he said it really good. Maybe not so much on the serious side. We're not just a powerlifting gym for everybody listening. We do have stuff for bodybuilders and like your average gym goer. So don't be shy to come in. We have everything for everybody.
Okay, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, so it just, if you don't want a bodybuilder or power build, you're still welcome to come in and join and work out and still feel like you're part of the community.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So is that where you tend to lean more toward, Austin, on the power lifting side?
I would say I'm very firmly a gym bro.
Gym bro, okay.
Yep. I just go in and lift and try to stay active and healthy. That's about it.
Well, that is something that we all need to take more advice on doing, because I know for a fact in my own life, if you don't move, you lose. When I was going through this, and I don't mean to extend your time, I know your time is valuable, but when I was going through this period of time I'm talking about, where I had to travel all the time and wasn't able to work out like I wanted to, I started experiencing pain in my shoulders, and I didn't understand what was going on. I could roll over on my side in my sleep, and it would wake me up, just throbbing. One night, I guess it took me longer to wake up. When I woke up, I was actually in tears, and because of the pain was so bad. Well, I went to the doctor. I've just figured, everybody was saying the rotator cuff was torn, and I figured the same thing. And so I went in. He said, "No, actually, you're experiencing adhesive capsulitis." And I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "It means your shoulders are freezing up."
Oh,
and I'm thinking my shoulders are freezing up. I'm not old enough for something like that to happen. But what was going on? I wasn't using it, and I started losing it. And so my body was used to that movement, and I had stopped. I used to work out in my youth, and I'd stopped, and I started losing it. So I couldn't find a PT clinic where I lived at the time that could work within my hours of having to travel, my days of travel and everything. So I wound up taking about 225-pound dumbbells and took them on the road with me and did shoulder workouts until the pain was finally gone. The only thing it left me was severe weakness in my shoulders. I used to be really strong naturally, had a natural strength, super strong arm wrestler, but it left me really weak, in my shoulders. And but so I do know that for a fact. If you don't move it, you'll eventually lose it. So good advice, Austin. Good advice. Whether you call yourself a gym bro or whether you're like Sam, you're a pro card bodybuilder, just do something to get out there and move. So
absolutely.
Thank y'all so much. One more thing I want to do, just give you a moment to tell how people can find out about you, reach out to you, whether online or offline. Share it with them.
You can find us website, ironhqgym.com, social media at ironhqgym. And if you want to pop in, you can actually get in the door without us there. You can just go to our website, purchase a day pass or membership, and we use an app to get in the door. So even if we're not there, if you want to go in at 12 a.m., you can still get it in the door.
Okay. Hey, we can't beat that. Just go to their website and everything you need is right there. But they do have social media if you'd like to go check them out and learn a little bit more about them. So, man, it has been wonderful having y'all here today. Great getting to know y'all and more about Iron HQ, and wish you the best continued success, Sam, in your career and both of you in the gym. Hope y'all continue to have much success, and thank y'all for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And to all the good neighbors of the greater Chattanooga region, after meeting Sam and Austin, learning more about the Iron Q Gym, they want you to know, that they have something for everybody. They not just for the bodybuilders, not just for the power lifters, but yes, them too. If you're desiring to bodybuilder in the process of it, they got a gym just for you. If you're powerlifting or want to learn more about it, they got something for you. But if you just want to go in and exercise and learn to move and use some machines, lift some iron, go on in and check them out. I thought that's pretty good. They got a day pass where you can go in anytime of the day. It's good for you. So, before ending this episode, I'd like to thank you all, the listeners, for taking the time out of your busy day to visit with us at the Good Neighbor Podcast. And always remember to support the locally owned and operated businesses in the greater Chattanooga area. As I like to say, from Cleveland to Dalton, from Jasper to Benton, and everybody all around in between. This is Scott Howell of the Friends and Neighbors Group. Everyone go out and make this a remarkable day.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpcleveland.com. That's gnpcleveland.com or call 423-380-1984.